This is Akashavani Mangaluru. Yuvavani. Dear young friends, welcome to today's English Yuvavani program. In today's program, the students of the Department of Geology, Manipal Institute of Technology, MIT, Manipal, will present a comprehensive brainstormer on the theme Ocean Health and Microplastics.
Hi everyone, this is Adya coming to you from the Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal Institute of Technology, Department of Sciences, Geology Section, Manipal. Join me for the conversation and music that are all about the deep dive. Stay with us to make this talk both enjoyable and informative for all of you. The ocean makes up more than 70% of the Earth's surface and also most important in influencing the economy, biodiversity, climate, and other factors of our planet. The oceans absorbs and stores the solar energy. By circulating the heat across the world through ocean currents, it plays an important role in controlling the temperature, which in return has a direct impact on the weather patterns. The ocean is filled with diverse life, from the smallest plankton to the largest whale, and also provide a habitat for a countless species. Coral reefs, for example, are known as the rainforest of the sea. These reefs serves as the breeding ground for the numerous marine species. We know that the major source of food come from the ocean, and mainly the coastal regions are very much enriched in the seafoods. It also provides us with shipping, tourism, and offshore energy production, and are contributed to the global economic of the ocean. The shipping routes facilitates the international trading system, and the coastal tourism generates income for many nations. The offshore oil and gas extraction, as well as the renewable source of energies like the wind and tidal energy, also play a role in the energy production. We also know that the photosynthesis is the main process by which the oxygen is produced. In the case of oceans, the plants that are known as the phytoplanktons play a major role in the production of oxygen. We do activities like swimming, surfing, and scuba diving, provided not only for the enjoyment but also promoting our physical and mental health. Though the ocean depths hold many mysteries which were already discovered and also yet to be discovered, scientific exploration of the ocean provides insight into its ecosystem, marine life behaviors, and potential for new resources and medicine derived from the depths. Sujit, could you provide an insight into how the ocean's advantage and its influence on our overall welfare make it beneficial for us?
Thank you, Adyasha, for this nice introduction. I will make you dive deep into the ocean. So, as we are growing bigger and bigger in both population and popularity as a nation, there are certain needs which should be addressed without delay. One such need of time is resources. Yes, we need resources, that too in huge amount, which should be righteously distributed within ourselves. Here, what I am mentioning as ourselves is not a small entity. I am talking about 18% of the world population, that is our India's population. So for the resources, where to hit, where to dig? If the land resources are quickly depleting, can we target some asteroids, moon, Mars? Yeah, we may do it in near future. Short of, we need resources for now. So where to go? Before that, I'll explain the term resource. Resource does not only mean the minerals and gas. It is anything that we need and value. So is there something near us which we don't value so much till now? Yeah, the answer is blue. I mean blue economy. You guessed correct. The seawater appears blue. It is all about sustainable use of resources which are associated with water, which broadly include fisheries, ocean energy, hydrocarbon, minerals, tourism, etc. etc. To hit any goal, Adyasha, we should be both physically and mentally ready. As a nation, are we ready to hit this match-winning goal? Government of India has frameworked its blue economy objectives, which says activities should be under jurisdiction while preserving the ocean's health. Coming to physical alertness, India has already started developing its 7,500 km long coastline with some important projects like Sagarmala to make world-class harbors and associated industrial clusters, which covers 9 coastal states, 1,382 islands. We have nearly 200 ports, in which 12 are very major that handles 1,400 million tons of cargo every year. We are also getting ready to dive deep into 6,000 meter ocean and study its science under Project Samudrayan. We are all set to test the manned submersible Matsya 6000 to study manganese nodules, gas hydrates, hydrothermal sulfides, and cobalt crust. Is there anything as a citizen we can contribute to our nation in this process? Yeah, actually, there are a lot of scope now once the exploration of resources is done. Apart from our own maritime territory and exclusive economic zone, if we need to mine in international territory, permission should be taken from International Seabed Authority under United Nations Convention on the Law of Seas. Once the process of mining begins, lot of new clean technologies are needed. Why clean technologies? Think the scenario, we are going to light up the place of Earth's crust where sunlight never reached for minimum last 36 million years. We are going to vibrate. We are going to shake the place where sediments accumulate 1 meter per 1,000 years. To counter this, lot of clean technology is needed. And there comes our duty to work on those. Let's talk about our coastal community. It is so big. Big in the sense, nearly 4 million fisher folks are going to sea and getting the tasty fish we eat every day, which is one of the 7.73% of global fish production. But ultra-modernization of fisheries is need of the time. Focus should be equally given to eradicate increasing marine pollution by nets, which is killing a mighty whale and also a small shrimp. As we talk about marine pollution, Adyasha will again continue with the marine pollution. We as a citizen, we need to understand this and yes, focus on physics, engineering and of course earth and environmental science, without which this knowledge on seafloor will be zero. Over to Adyasha.
Given the ocean's immense importance, it's disheartening that the human activities are causing this contamination. Harsha, could you elaborate on the types of contamination occurring in the ocean due to the human action and shed light into the specific consequences this pollution is having on the marine ecosystem?
Yes, now it is the time to talk about the tragic incidents happening in front of us. A dead whale found with 6 kg of plastic in its stomach in Indonesia. An oil spill, one of the biggest oil spills, occurred in Chennai in 2017. Do they have anything to do with contaminants in the ocean? Let's peep onto it. Seafloor carries minerals worth for next several decades, which can be excavated by means of current technology. But ever thought of the boomerang effect of this? See, disturbance of seafloor in deep sea mining by altering its habitats may wipe out our marine species. Creating plumes of suspended particles in the ocean negatively impacts. Apart from these, light and noise pollution list continues. A variety of chemicals utilized in the production of diverse items spanning from everyday products, cleaning agents and pesticides ultimately finds their ways to ocean. Individuals are most likely to encounter chemicals like mercury, ammonia or even the worst radioactive waste by consuming contaminated seafood. So don't think that we are in a safe zone as it is attacking our food web too. Talking about the oil, which we use to make wide range of products and fuels, are found below the ground and below the ocean floor in the reservoirs where oil droplets reside in pores or holes in the rock. During its excavation, transportation, or storage, it may spill accidentally into ocean, later harms sea creatures, also ruin our day at the beach. This may cut a bird's wing and leave it unable to fly or strip away. Most of the marine pollution consists of plastic waste, with approximately 10 crore metric tons finding its way into the oceans annually. It transforms into smaller fragments called microplastics, which have the capacity to absorb various chemicals present in the marine environment, like hazardous metals and pesticides. Isn't it obvious our fellow marine species would consume all these and reach humans who consume seafood?
So, Medha and Shankar, could you both provide an explanation regarding the origin and source of microplastic in the ocean, considering Harsha's mention of contaminants in the ocean and the growing concern about the microplastic of today's world.
Yes, Adyasha. Now, out of all the pollutants that are present in our ocean, today we are mainly focusing on microplastic. And all these plastics in the ocean are contributed by us humans. Now, these rivers transport plastic waste from land to sea, polluting the environment. Plastic debris enter rivers due to improper waste disposal, littering, and runoff. And the currents then carry this plastic downstream and eventually end up in the ocean. So this has an adverse effect on marine life, ecosystem, and human health. Plastic pollution must be prevented at its source, waste management must be improved, and public awareness about the impact of plastic entering rivers and ocean must be raised. Among the plastic pollution, industrial fishing is thought to be the primary source of plastic pollution in the oceans, with discarded fishing gear such as net and ropes being a major issue since the 1980s. Initially, fishing gear was made of natural materials, but the shift to synthetic fibers such as nylon and polyethylene, which are cheaper and more durable, has contributed significantly to marine plastic waste. And these plastic waste from fishing industry, especially ghost nets and ropes, are a significant environmental hazard that causes marine pollution. These nets and rope continue to capture marine life after being discarded, resulting in unintended continued fishing activities. And over time, these nets and rope degrade into tiny pieces, causing microplastic contamination in the oceans. Along being degraded, they clump into big tangled mess that leads to marine life being entrapped in them and leads to their untimely death. As we know that microplastic are tiny plastic materials, usually less than 5 mm in size, that either come from the breakdown of larger plastics or are intentionally added to cosmetics and personal care products. And in cosmetics, there are two types of microplastic. One is primary microplastic and the other is secondary microplastics. These cosmetic facial cleansers, which are widely used in developed countries, frequently contain minute plastic particles known as microplastic, which take the form of tiny spheres made of polyethylene or polypropylene. These micrometer-sized particles function as exfoliants. When these cleansers are washed away, the microplastic particles enter sewage system. Because of many treatment plants aren't equipped to trap such particles, some microplastic escape and end up in bodies of water like rivers, lakes, and coastlines.
Thank you, Mida, for enlightening our listeners with valuable information about the sources of microplastic. It is important to know about the processes which are responsible for its formation. Photodegradation is one of the major processes, wherein tiny plastic particles break down due to sunlight exposure, mainly UV radiation. This leads to the gradual fragmentation of microplastic into smaller pieces, even nanoplastic, which can pose environmental risk. UV energy weakens plastic bonds, causing physical breakup into smaller particles. However, full degradation takes a long time, potentially decades, making cleanup harder. These tiny particles can persist in ecosystem, entering the food chain and threatening marine life and potential humans. Factors like mechanical forces and environmental also contribute to microplastic breakdown. Researchers study these effects on microplastic in water and soil. Addressing microplastic pollution involves reducing plastic production, better waste management, and exploring less persistent materials. Now, mechanical wear and fragmentation of plastic mostly occurs in the ocean, as larger plastic items break down due to waves, currents, and UV radiation. This results in microplastic, which are smaller particles less than 5 mm in size. Plastic waste deteriorates in the ocean due to sunlight, salt water, and temperature fluctuations. Plastic is bent and broken by waves and currents, and it is further deteriorated by collision with objects such as rocks. Marine organisms attaching to plastic causes stress, which, when combined with UV radiations and biological activity, causes chemical changes that make plastic brittle. This process produces microplastic, which marine life can consume and potentially reach humans through the food chain. Microplastic are an environmental concern because they can harm aquatic life and transport toxins. Reducing plastic waste entering oceans, improving waste management, advocating for sustainable practices, and researching the long-term effects of microplastic on ecosystem and health are all part of the solutions.
Ananya, could you provide an explanation about how plastic pollution, especially microplastics, adversely affect not only human beings but also the other organisms in the environment?
Yes, Adesha. Talking about the effects of microplastic on environment and organism, they are causing very big problems. Being very tiny pieces of plastic that are even less than 5 millimeters in size, they get into the oceans, rivers, and even the soil very easily and are very bad news for animals and plants. They look like food to many sea animals and birds, and when these creatures eat microplastics, it gets into their system and it hurts them badly. But that's not all. The microplastics can also be very dangerous as they carry harmful toxins. It's like they become like little delivery trucks for the toxin stuff. This toxic stuff can get into the food we eat, which is really not good. The microplastics create problem at every step of the food chain, from small creatures to the big ones. Imagine a big puzzle where each piece affects the next one. The plastic pieces can make animals sick, make it hard for them, and even change how they behave. And here's something even more dangerous. Microplastics aren't just a problem in the water, they are also causing trouble on land. Think about how farmers use plastic to cover their grounds in their fields, and when these plastics break into tiny pieces, they end up in the soil, thus messing up with the soil chemistry, thus, in turn, making for the plants to grow. We all need to do something about this problem. It's not just up to one group of people. The government, businesses, and regular folks like us should have a role to play in it. Governments need to make rules that stop companies from making too much plastic waste and help us getting rid of it safely. Businesses should come up with new ways to package things that don't use so much plastic like cloth packages or jute bags. And each of us can help by using less plastic and throwing it away properly. Remember, these tiny pieces of plastics are causing very big problems, but if we work together, we can make our environment healthier and safer for everyone.
Underscoring our accountability and involvement in the creation of this issue, Pranjal, could you shed light on these specific human behaviors and activities that give rise to this production and release of these pollutants?
Yes, Adyasha. Instead of asking what is causing the pollution, we can ask who. And the answer is human beings. Human beings are the biggest reason for the ocean to get contaminated in day-to-day life. The biggest harm to the ocean is mostly from oil companies. They make the ocean dirty with loud noises, chemical and plastic. Humans are causing the ocean to get dirty in many ways. Sometimes it's obvious, like when we see plastic trays on beaches. Other times we can't see it, but it's still there. Everyday harmful things go into the water. Some come from factories on purpose and some flow from land into the rivers and then it end up in the ocean. Bad stuffs like pesticides and herbicides, which are in plastic, used to make things like glue and fire-resistant materials. These things get into the oceans. These things move up the food chain and can stay around for a long period of time. There are also dangerous metals like mercury and cadmium that get into the water. Some come from industry and mines and even trash dumps. Mercury can make people sick if we eat fish that have it. Oil pollution happens naturally from under the ocean, but people also make it worse. Oil spills from ships and offshore places make the ocean dirty. Lights from cities, ships and oil rigs can confuse sea animals like turtles. Noise pollution from things like oil and gas activities can also hurt marine life. Many companies use plastic for packaging and big oil and chemical companies like Exxon and Shell make the plastic. There's so much plastic going into the ocean that it's like an epidemic now. Every minute, enough plastic gets into the ocean to fill a big truck. Sadly, a lot of ocean pollution comes from land. Rainwater and river carry pollution from the land into the ocean. Things like sewage, plastic and chemical from farms make the ocean dirty. There are around 500 places in the ocean where animals can't live because the water is so contaminated. The ocean has almost 5 trillion pieces of plastic in it. If we don't change, there could be more plastic in the ocean than fish by 2050. To fix this, there's no simple answer. People can make small changes like using less plastic, buying local stuff to reduce shipping, eating less meat to lower pollution, and so on. Ocean pollution is a big contaminated problem caused by how we live. We need to take action to make things better and protect our ocean. Over to Adyasha.
In light of our previous discussion about the current environmental situation made by Pranjal, Anubhav, could you suggest some actionable steps that individuals can take to prevent the ocean pollution?
Sure, Adyasha. So now, as we have a decent idea of how the ocean plastic pollution occurs and what are the major causes and sources, the next logical question that should come in our mind, dear listener, should be what we as an individual can do to contribute towards the reduction of this pollution. We are the sole culprit for this, and we must be the one to resolve this issue too. First of all, as a responsible citizens and people, we should try to reduce, reuse, and recycle the plastic products that we use on daily basis. With this, I mean to say to ditch the single-use carry plastic bags that we get at the grocery stores, to use the single-use plastic bottles that we get everywhere, to use our own carry bags so that we reduce the plastic waste as much as possible. Although we are dependent on plastic too much to immediately stop its usage, at least we all can try to minimize our impact on the environment by doing whatever is possible by us. It is our responsibility to educate our younger generation and try to bring awareness to the people who are not knowledgeable regarding the effects of plastic that it has on our nature. As a society, we should encourage limited usage of plastic in the form of wrappers and have proper disposal plan for the plastic waste generated by the society. The government should create rules and regulations so that the production of plastic can be limited. There should be strict punishment for those who do not obey the rule. The government should provide incentives and subsidies to the people who are working day and night to provide an alternate to the plastic. There are examples of it, such as the cutleries that are made from bajra and barley instead of using the single-use plastics. There's a company called Easy Flux Bag that is trying to make bags out of starch instead of polythene so that it is biodegradable and doesn't harm the marine organism if it ends up in the ocean. At the end, I would just like to say this problem doesn't have an easy or straightforward solution. Our modern society is extremely dependent on plastic, right? From the phone that we use to the furniture to the packaging and to the everyday items. The list is long. But we as an individual can do our share to contribute less to this ever-growing issue. So I urge you, my gentle listeners, to act on this, to try to do what you can to reduce our impact on the environment.
After our in-depth talk on the ocean concerns, particularly the plastic pollution, Harun, could you provide a quick overview of the various other pollutants that affects our ocean?
Yes, Adyasha. The oceans, which cover more than 70% of our planet's surface, are not just vast blue spaces. They are crucial for our planet. They help to control temperatures, provide food, and support delicate ecosystems. However, in the middle of this beauty, a serious problem exists. Marine pollution, a constant result of humans affecting our waters. Allow me to guide you through this problem, showing you the difficult realities that have resulted from our actions. Imagine this, the ocean's massiveness spoiled by glimmers of plastic waste, a deeply saddening sight that we encounter daily. Millions of tons of plastic, once useful, have now become traps for innocent marine life. Fish, seabirds, and majestic turtles all hang in the balance as they eat or get trapped in this plastic nightmare. And then the pain deepens as we look at the sea surface, scared by harsh effects of oil spills. Accidental disasters and continuous drilling harm marine ecosystems, leaving a trail of destruction. Oil spills choke life, disturb habitats, and destroy the fishing and tourism industries that countless communities depend on. If these problems weren't enough, there is another danger hidden below: chemical contaminants. Poisonous waste from industries and farms flows into the oceans, creating a harmful network that captures marine life, also enters our food chain, and directly affects human health. And there's the story of nutrient pollution, a story of untreated sewage and excess from farming, which results in oxygen-poor dead zones appearing, life struggles to which results in oxygen poor dead zones, appearing where life struggles due to harmful algal bloom. This crisis strikes at the core of marine ecosystems, endangering not only their vitality, but also the delicate interconnectedness of the life they support. These consequences spread widely, touching every part of the ocean. Coral reefs, nature's wonders, suffer from stress and bleaching caused by pollution. Tiny oxygen producing organisms called phytoplankton battle pollution, which affects the whole food chain. The economic impact is massive. Thriving fishing and busy tourism industries suffer due to pollution and effects like the cost of cleaning up, lost jobs, and falling properties values are the consequences of our negligence. But let not lose the hope, because we have the power to change this situation. Each of us has the ability to create a cleaner future for our oceans. By making thoughtful choices to reduce plastic use and manage responsibly, we can create a better environment for marine life by supporting the hard work of organizations that clean our beaches and oceans. This shows our shared dedication. Let the passion of this message resonate with you. Marine pollution isn't just an environmental problem, it's a play to safeguard the heritage we leave for our future generations. Our oceans are the legacy of life, a gift of beauty, and a promise of sustenance. Let's unite with a common goal to make a difference, demand responsibility, and build a healthier world for our oceans and ourselves.
Now, we would like to conclude our program with a lovely song presented by Sakshi.
Think about the generations and say that we want to make it a better place for our children and our children's children so that they know it's a better world for them and think if they can make it a better place. There's a place in your heart and I know that it is love, and this place could much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear or dread. We stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. So make a better world. Fear or dread, we stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. So make a better world. To make a better world. Heal the world. Make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceived in will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling life with this earth crucified soul? Though it's plain to see this world is heavenly, be God's glow. We could fly so high, let our spirits never die. In my heart, I feel you are all my brothers. We could fly so high, let our spirits never die.
explanation on the ocean and its impact. Thank you Tejas, Santosh Prabhu sir, Dr. Balakrishna Madodi sir, and Dr. K. Balakrishna sir for all your guidance and support for the program. Dear listeners, the time is now to scale up the ocean action for the sake of our lives and future of our planet. Come, join us in saving the ocean to protect our future.
Dear friends, you have just heard a comprehensive program on the theme Ocean Health and Microplastics presented by the students of the Department of Geology, Manipal Institute of Technology, MIT Manipal. Here we conclude today's English Yuvavani program. See you next time. Thank you.